Hello everyone, I'm Sean. I'm a student here in Chongqing City in Chongqing University of Post and Telecommunication. Today I got a great chance to have a conversation with Mr. Hortencio, the author of two books, Caminos and The Foreigner. So yeah, hello Mr. Hortencio.
Hey,
Yeah, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, yeah. The weather is too hot, so
Yeah,
how do you feel?
yeah, it's crazy hot, man.
Okay,
So, yeah, but
so
still
can
good.
you give us a brief
Introduction
introduction, please?
of myself.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Sean, for
Okay.
bringing me here for this interview. It feels better this way, like with shorts and
Yeah.
shirts,
In this
relaxed
hot
in
weather.
this hot weather.
Yeah.
But yeah, my name is Hortencio Cassemene. This is my pen name. My real name is Hortencio Malau Chikanga. I come from Angola. I'm an author and self-development researcher from 2009. And I was moved by the intention of improving my life when I was facing tough times during my teenage, and I had deep insecurity and low self-esteem. I also suffered from anxiety, so I had to go through a long process of self-development and learning how to improve myself. So that's how I end up becoming a researcher and a writer to empower and inspire other people. Yeah.
How long have you been in China?
Well, I have been here for 4 years, almost five. So yeah, I left my country on September 2013, and I'm going back now. So if I would stay here until September, it would be 5 years.
5 years. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, how was your journey in China? Where did you start studying, like Chinese, or what? Which university is your first university, like mother university?
Well, I was first in Shanghai Tongji University. I studied there 1 year Chinese language, and then after that I came to here, which is Chongqing University of Post and Telecommunication. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you study? Oh, so no. When did you start, like writing books? When you got inspiration to start writing books?
Well, I got inspired when I had tough moments to sleep. Actually, writing was never a plan, was never a desire. It was a relief way for me. Like, I had a lot of ideas in my mind and I couldn't sleep. At times I would be staring on the walls and looking around and see what I can do to sleep. I was sleepless. So this time, the first moment was back in my country, and I took a piece of paper and started writing the ideas down. And then the second time it happened in Shanghai, I wasn't sleeping again. So I asked my friend to borrow me his computer, and I wrote down the ideas. So after some days I showed to them and they were amazed. They were like, wow, you write so well. So I was like, wow, maybe I should keep it up. And I had support from Jean Kula, a very good friend of mine, and he followed all the process of writing the first book, which is Caminos, and he said this book is gonna be a bestseller. I was like, oh, come on, man, I think you're going far. But yeah, he believed, and I hope one day it will. But guess what? The book is the book's feedback is good, and people like it. So that's the most important for now.
So how about your family? Did they like you writing books, or when you start writing books, how did they react?
Well, my family at first was not very supportive, I can say so, because I remember the moment I finished writing Caminos, I had this excitement. I was calling my father to tell him, hey, I wrote a book and I'm ready to go public. And the thing he told me is, you gotta put your knees down and pray, because you most probably have problems on your mind. So I was like, for the most important person, which I think should be the one to support me the most, was the one putting me down. I was drained, and I got depressed for 2 weeks, I guess, if I remember well. But I was persistent, and I realized that he was having this response. He was reacting in such a way because he was afraid that I was going to give it up, the dream of becoming an
Become an
engineer.
engineer.
So he told my brothers, and everyone was calling me asking why I'm becoming a writer, because everyone thinks and believes that being a writer is not a successful uh, profession. It's like, you don't make money. So why a person who is studying computer science decides to be an author? So yeah, and I explained to my brother explained to him, and yeah, it was a long process, but still. So I had to go against them because I remember when I told my father I'm going to Angola to publish the book, he said, no, don't come, you gotta stay there. And if you want to publish, you gotta wait until you graduate. So I had to save money. I had to ask my friends to support me by borrowing me money, and they did it. And that's how I made it happen. And the time I was launching the book in my country,
Yeah.
I saw the happiness on the face of my father. So he was proud. He didn't need to say, my son, I'm proud of you, but I could see it, I could
Mhm.
feel it in his face. Yeah.
Who is your idol?
My idol. What a tough question. Well, my idol, if I have to pick a person, I would say it's Tony Robbins because his story is very similar to mine. Although I was not raised by a mother who was uh, drug abused, um, I was having a tough teenage, and I lost my mother by the age of 9 years old. So that was a really, really, really hard moment for me, and I had to understand not only myself but my family because I had a mother-in-law which was very dramatic and used to beat us.
Oh,
So those moments I had to be not very reactive but understanding, and I could feel the pain of people and not only my pain. So I started understanding people by then. So when I listen to Tony Robbins speaking, as powerful as he is, I can still feel what drives him because I was there. Like, when you are drained, life is pushing you down, but you still feel like you can fight. You are better, you are stronger than that. And I'm stronger, and I am this person because of what life was for me before. So I'm grateful. And when you listen to this, you might think, oh, this guy's copying Tony Robbins. That's why he's my idol, because we have like some similarity.
something.
Yeah.
So, as you've been a president of International Student Association here in Chongqing University of Post and Telecommunication, did you get any experience and how do you feel by being president?
Well, this title being president,
President of
it feels like,
six.
president. Yeah, feels like Obama stuff and Trump stuff. Yeah, but it's not that. I was president of International Student Association. Um, it feels easy when you're not there yet, but once you get in, you see it's challenging. But it's also exciting because you get to learn a lot. So I learned communication skills, I learned leadership skills, but most of the time when you say leadership skills, actually we are trying to say we are leading people, but I don't think you would be able to lead people when you don't lead yourself. So what I have learned is to lead myself, is to lead my feelings, because sometimes you want to put your ideas on people's mind and think they will follow, but actually you have to listen to their view, you have to listen to their words and what they have to say, so that you can feel what they want. And most of the time they were very very supportive when I come with an idea because I listen to them. So I learned how to do teamwork. You know, the idea of one being smarter than another sometimes makes people feel like they are worth more than others. So making balance in a team and make everyone feel involved is very important to bring this energy, to bring this enthusiasm, to let people work together. So we have made some mistakes. I have to admit, but we also did well, and I cannot say I because we
Yeah,
did it together.
teamwork. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
So that's how teamwork
yeah,
works.
yeah.
Yeah. Another question is about the book Foreigner, which is getting famous here in China.
Yes.
And the name is the Foreigner, so from the name you can see it's like for the foreigners. But for some people, it may be like be confused. They will be confused by seeing the name and they see you were here in China, so they will think that this book is only for people who come to China. Can you give us like introduction for the book and say like,
What is
is
the
it
target?
for just people who study in China or for all people?
Well, I'm feeling mosquitoes here. That's why I keep moving myself. So yeah, the foreigner. The Foreigner is a book that talks about the challenges of people who merge to a new place, a new environment. So anyone who moves to a new environment faces challenge of adaptation. That's why the title is The Foreigner Adapting to a New Environment. If you remember, the title was not this,
Yeah.
and it was a
Journey of a student. Yeah.
journey of a
In
student
China.
of a foreign student in
In
China.
China.
So, as you remember, Frank said that this book is more than that. It's more than just for students. It's more than just for people in China. And other people can be related by the stories that are shared. So I was, impressed by the view Frank had. And as I said before, I have learned to listen to people. So I was like, wow, I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
I think we should try to make it that way so that people will feel like, yeah, but not only to target other people, but also to allow them to feel involved. But since the book was written, I was just letting it open. But now it seems like the result comes out in a way that even Chinese people feel connected. Even the people who are not in China want the book. And I have seen people in America, in Russia, they ordering the book.
Wow.
So, and now the feedback, the reviews that I'm getting is such as that every foreigner need this book. Every person who wants to understand how is it a life of a student or an employee or someone who lives
Who
abroad.
goes to another country.
Exactly. You're gonna see like the challenge these people are facing is pretty much similar of a person who goes maybe to a different town. You don't have to leave your country,
Yeah.
or maybe to a place where people talk a different language, or maybe to a place where the climate is different or the time difference is huge. So all these things, they can bring some natural reaction in your body, your chemistry, your psychology. Everything gets changed. And when you don't allow yourself to change, you feel the challenge and you feel like you are being forced. So you gotta be flexible. So I mentioned two things that are very important. One is um, emotional intelligence. Another one is resilience. So emotional intelligence, the ability to react to the environment or to read people's expression, people's feeling, and also read your feeling, how to better react to them. So all this will require a certain level of awareness. So you gotta be aware when someone is coming to you and talking in some ways, you don't just react. You gotta understand why is this person doing this. So This ability is even useful for someone who is living, in the same place also. So that's why even Chinese, even any person, my countrymates in Angola who haven't lived the country, they will also feel involved. So everyone who is curious, who wants to learn, is welcome to join
Yeah.
the foreigner.
So now you are going back to your country. I'm not going to ask what are you going to do in your country, but I want to ask you like, what are your plans for like coming 2 years? Let's say.
Well, 2 years. 2 years. Yeah. Let me first cut it in 1 year.
Okay.
2 years is far. Um, I have plans, I have goals, I have ambitions. My biggest ambition is to impact people's life. I want to help those who are facing the challenge that I faced, and I want to let them know that they are capable of overcoming, of becoming the best version of themselves. You will be a better person once you become what you were designed to be. So which means you have to somehow go back to your past and see what is the mental programmation that you had when you were young and what you are today. Because whatever that people have told you that you should be this or that way, it doesn't define you. You have principles that made who you are. Maybe you got them from your parents, but at this certain level, like you are grown up already, you have to be aware that you can be the owner of your story. Oh, the owner of your story and your life. So what I'm gonna do is to help people with public speech. I will promote my book more. I will also do the job of engineer, but what I love the most is to empower people. Most probably you're gonna hear somewhere, maybe, or maybe I will tell you that I already opened the company. Yeah, about self-development. So yeah, as I said, you asked me who is my idol.
Yeah.
I said it's Tony Robbins. So Tony Robbins does this kind of things, and I want to do something similar or better. You never know. So yeah.
So yeah, in the end, I want you to give us some message to the people who feel shy or who don't believe in themselves. What do you want to give them? Any suggestions, please?
Well, my first suggestion is mm, be humble to accept the fact that you are a human being. You are not perfect. You ain't gonna be perfect, no matter how hard you try. But you have to acknowledge your weakness. You have to work on your strength. You know you have weakness. You know you have strengths. But weakness must be a source of power to raise you up, to take you from the comfort zone and make you wake up to work on those small tasks, which is maybe you are shy. You might you might see it as a weakness. So this weakness will allow you to go look for a solution. So you're gonna read books, you're gonna see some videos on YouTube like I did. You're gonna do several things that will empower you to become a better person. So no matter what ideas you have in mind, no matter how shy you are, no matter how weak you are, you can become a better person. I was shy. I couldn't speak in public. Whenever I had this chance to talk in public, my hands were shaking as an old man. My voice was trembling. And here I am. I have been able to make some public speech in front of 200 or 300 people.
Okay.
And I was okay with that. And I think we all represent a possibility in someone else's life. So if I was able to overcome all the challenge that I faced, everyone else is. No one or nothing human can be alien in your eyes. So if I was able to do it, you can do
You
it.
also
Why
can
not?
make.
Yeah.
So, yeah. In the end, I want to share a story that how I get to know Mr. Hortencio. I was back in my country, it was 3 years ago, and I just started learning Chinese, and I saw my brother. His name is Frank. He's an entrepreneur here in China. I saw his moments. I saw a person, his friends on the moments, and I saw one day he post that someone is running, and it was like the thing that counts the speed. I said, wow, who is running that fast? And my brother said, that's Mr. Hortencio. From that day I got interest to know about this young gentleman, and yeah, when I came to China I had to meet him. I got a great opportunity to meet him, and I got to know that he's writing a book. It was first book. The book was like Caminos, and it was in Portuguese, so I didn't have a chance to read it. I had a chance to read, but I couldn't understand. So yeah, and before going back to my country, one day Mr. Hortensio told me, I said, I'm too sad that I'm going back to my country. It's not about like my country is bad. I just already got used here in China, here like to new friends, to new environment. And then he said, do you want to come back here? I said, yes, I want. And then he said, one day you will come back, just believe. When I went back to my country, I started learning more harder, and I passed my exams, and this September I came back and I saw him. I shake his hand for his suggestions, and I got to know that he's writing his second book. It was The Foreigner. I was like amazed that it's in English, and I said, wow, this is great opportunity to me to read his book, because he's my mentor. He always helped me any situation I have problems. I can ask him. He give me suggestions that always help me. And another story is like I was back in my country. I heard that Mr. Hortensio is hosting a club, or not club, like English saloon. And I said, and my friends asked me, what's your plans when you go to China? I said, firstly, I'm going to study hard because this is my job to do. And then secondly, every week I'm going to Sunday Cafe to learn something more from Mr. Hortensio and from other people. So yeah, thank you for your time and to give me this opportunity to have you around.
Thank you. I'm very proud
Okay.
of Sean, and Sean is an incredible person. He has made this time for me to give my to share my story with you guys. I hope you like it and share this video with more people so that we're gonna inspire different kind of people. Thank you, Sean, and I'm very proud of you for your
Thank
growth
you.
and for your confidence, so for your communication skills, and you will be better than
Okay.
what you have
Thank you.
become. Thank
Thanks
you and all the
everybody for
best.
your time that you are watching this this video. Okay. Bye everyone.